From the heart of the county where the lights shine bright, athletes grind hard every day, every night. Dreams get built, legends come alive. You're now tuned in. This is the Hive, where the hustle meets hope and the stories get told. From the young to the vets, chasing dreams bold. Friday night lights to that college drive. We salute the ones keeping that fire alive. Hosted by Bobby B, bringing truth and pride. Real talk, real hard, and the home team vibe. From the field to the mic, the culture survives. Welcome to the movement, welcome to the Hive.
What's up, Onslow County? Welcome back to the Hive, the Onslow County Sports Buzz, where we talk all things Onslow County sports, from the Friday night lights to the off-season grind. I'm your host, Bobby B, and before we get rolling, I just want to say thank you for all the love and support after episode 1. The messages, the shares, the feedback, it really meant a lot. The regular season is officially a wrap, and it's time for the playoff push. This is where the pretenders fall back and the contenders lock in. But before we dive into the highlights, let's take a second to shout out the folks who keep the Hive possible.
Sharice Hatchell, your real estate expert. Whether you're buying, selling, renting, or you just have questions about real estate, Sharice turns houses into homes and dreams into closings. Dowdy's Hauling, fast, reliable, and local. If you need something moved or cleared, Dowdy's is the name to call. Let's Talk Podcast with Mikhail Mutassit. Real conversations, real growth. Go stream it and support local media done right. Wide Receiver University, the premier spot for elite speed training, combine prep, route running, and catching technique. Whether you're grinding for Friday nights or chasing Saturdays, Wide Receiver U is where wideouts are built, not born.
Round 1 of the state playoffs is in the book, and Onslow County showed up and showed out. Let's break it down.
White Oak Vikings took down Eastern Guilford 32-22. Quarterback Josh Smith was in his bag again, throwing for 90 yards and a touchdown while rushing for another 193 yards and a score on the ground. Montez Jimenez added 105 rushing yards and a touchdown of his own, and Edric Pineda was a reliable target all night with 4 catches and 85 yards. But the real story? That White Oak defense, coming up big with 2 interceptions to close the door and punch their ticket to round 2. Dixon Bulldogs defeated Rockingham County 58-50 in double overtime. J.J. Goulet put on one of the most insane playoff performances you'll ever see. 36 carries, 429 rushing yards, and 7 touchdowns. Yes, 7 touchdowns. The Bulldogs defense gave up 465 total yards and 7 scores, but they held when it mattered most. Shondell Parker added another touchdown, helping Dixon advance in a wild, high-scoring thriller. Tough night for the Stallions as they fall to Southwest Edgecombe 50-0. Senior Jaquel Howard led with 47 rushing yards, but the offense couldn't get rolling, held to just 108 total yards while throwing 2 interceptions. The Stallions defense gave up 4 passing touchdowns, but there's a bright side. They'll bring back Judah Claude and Teton Bolden next season. It's going to be a big offseason for this team to regroup and reload. Lejeune fell to Northampton County 50-7. The Devil Pups struggled to find rhythm on offense, finishing with 84 total yards while allowing 568 yards on defense, 400 of those coming on the ground. Sophomore Cam McKinnis was a bright spot, leading the team with 45 receiving yards. It's a young squad with growing pains, but that experience will pay off in the long run.
Round 1 brought highs, lows, and everything in between, but that's playoff football. White Oak and Dixon kept the Onslow County flag flying high as they move on to round 2. First off, we got to send a huge congratulations to two absolute standouts for the Jacksonville Cardinals, Jackson Henry and Yandez Baker, who have both been selected to play in the North Carolina East-West All-Star football game. That's a major honor representing not just Jacksonville High School, but all of Onslow County on one of the biggest stages for high school seniors in the state.
Let's start with Jackson Henry, senior linebacker, our Defensive Player of the Year, and the rock of that Cardinals defense. Jackson racked up over 80 solo tackles this season, flying sideline to sideline and setting the tone physically every Friday night. He's the quarterback of the defense, calling plays, reading the offense, and bringing the kind of energy that keeps the whole unit locked in. When you talk about leadership, that's Jackson Henry. He's a huge reason the Cardinals defense has been one of the most dominant in the state, helping power this team to an undefeated regular season. And then you've got Yandez Baker, senior defensive back and special teams weapon. Let's be real, Dezo might be one of the best special team players in all of Eastern North Carolina. This dude has multiple kick returns for touchdowns, completely shifting the momentum of games. Early in the season, he had a few learning moments on defense, but he turned that adversity into fuel, and ever since, he's been making plays all over the field. In the playoffs, you might not see too many teams kicking his way, so expect him to step up on defense, make a statement with those hands, and snag some interceptions, and use that elite speed to flip the field when his team needs it most.
So, once again, huge shout out to Jackson Henry and Yandez Baker, two Cardinals who earned a spot among the state's best making the East-West All-Star game. They made Jacksonville proud, and they made Onslow County prouder. Before we move on, we gotta take a second to celebrate one of Jacksonville's rising stars.
Shout out to Cardinals junior running back, Amari Pearson, who just picked up a scholarship offer from East Carolina University. AP's been a force in that Jacksonville backfield all season. Patient, powerful, and explosive once he hits the second level. ECU saw what everyone in Onslow County already knows. This kid is different.
So keep grinding, Peasy. The Hive's proud of you, the city's behind you, and the future is wide open. All right, Hive family, let's take it back for a second. Back to White Oak High School, because we got to talk about one of the greatest athletes to ever come out of Onslow County.
Deunta Williams. Now, if you don't know Deunta, let me paint this picture for you. We're talking about a 6'3", 220-pound monster of an athlete with a 40-inch vertical. Going into his senior year, he was ranked the number 2 wide receiver in the entire state of North Carolina. A 4-star recruit, the type of player college coaches looked at and said, yeah, we want that guy. Deunta capped off his high school career by playing in the Shrine Bowl of the Carolinas, where he absolutely showed out and was named the defensive MVP. That performance stamped his ticket to Chapel Hill, the University of North Carolina, where he switched sides of the ball and became one of the best safeties to ever wear that Carolina blue. He led one of the best defenses UNC ever had and built a resume that speaks for itself. ACC Defensive Rookie of the Year, freshman All-American, first team All-ACC honors. He's still ranked as one of the top 10 defensive backs to ever come out of Chapel Hill. But life has a way of throwing punches. And during his last collegiate game, while making a tackle, Deunta suffered a career-ending injury. Just like that, the NFL dreams he had been chasing his whole life were gone. And man, that'll break anybody. But here's what makes Deunta special. He didn't let that be the end of his story. He took that pain, that heartbreak, and turned it into purpose. A few years later, he wrote a powerful book called My Breaking Point, where he opened up about the injury, his mental battles, and how he found peace and strength on the other side. It's a story about resilience, faith, and finding light when everything goes dark. Deunta Williams, from a White Oak Viking to a Tar Heel legend, is proof that even when the game ends, your purpose doesn't.
So, salute to my guy, Deunta Williams, a true Onslow County legend, a Viking who showed the world what greatness, grit, and grace look like.
This has been former Onslow Greats, brought to you by Bobby's Tees, printing the past, present, and future of Onslow County sports.
Okay, Hive family, you know we couldn't talk fall sports without showing love to our soccer guys.
Let's start with the Jacksonville Cardinals, who continue to prove why they're one of the most dominant programs in North Carolina. The Cards rolled past the number 7 seed Northern Nash 5-0 to extend their win streak to 9 straight games. That offense is firing on all cylinders, and the defense locked in. These boys aren't just playing, they're making a statement. The Cardinals will host East Chapel Hill on November the 13th at home, and if you've been to one of those games, you know the atmosphere at Jacksonville is electric. Conference champion hoodies everywhere, chants from the stands, and a team that feeds off of that energy. Coach Mahauchik and this group set the standard for what consistency looks like. They reload, they adjust, and they keep finding ways to win. And right now, they're chasing another deep playoff run. Now over to the Northside Monarchs, who saw their incredible season come to an end against the number 1 seed CB Aycott, falling 4-2. But don't let that score fool you. This Monarchs team made history this year. They fought their way through the bracket, played with heart every night, and earned respect across the region. The Monarchs will graduate 10 seniors, a class that helped elevate the entire program. Those guys built a culture of effort, accountability, and belief that'll live on long after they hang up the cleats. From the early season battles to the playoff soccer under the lights, they gave everything they had for that Northside jersey. To those 10 seniors, salute to y'all. You left the program better than you found it, and that's the true mark of success.
All right, round 2 is here, and the road to the championship is heating up around Onslow County. Let's get into this week's playoff matchups.
The Jacksonville Cardinals return to action after a first-round bye, and they'll play host to Harnett Central. The Cards have been explosive all year, averaging 42 points per game, while Harnett Central averages around 30. Jacksonville's offense has been dominant on the ground, over 300 yards per game, while Harnett Central moves it through the air, around 200 passing yards per game. Their junior quarterback, Kobe Howard, has thrown for over 2,200 yards and 18 touchdowns this season. And senior wideout DJ Brown has been his favorite target with over 800 receiving yards and 8 touchdowns. Defensively, 5'8" senior William Jones is the heart of that Harnett Central defense. But they don't have a special teams touchdown this year, and that's something the Cardinals could take advantage of. Now, for the Jacksonville's defense, the DBs are going to be tested. Can Chawan recruit Blair Morrison lock down on the edge? Will seniors Quentin Burns and Capono be able to get pressure on the quarterback without losing contain? And this is a big week for senior Yandez Baker. He's been targeted a lot this season, picked up a few pass interference calls, but this is his chance to put all that behind him and prove he's one of the top DBs in the 6A playoffs. Also, watch senior Quez Robinson. He's going to need elite eye discipline because quarterback Kobe Howard does a great job of manipulating the defense with his eyes. The Cards are rested, focused, and ready to defend home turf. Expect a physical game and a statement performance under the Friday night lights. The Monarchs are back at home for their first playoff game in years. After a tough loss to Havelock, they're looking to bounce back as they host Person Hive, who put up 68 points in their first round win over JF Webb. Don't let Person's 5-win record fool you. They played a tough schedule and averaged 33 points per game. On paper, these two teams look evenly matched. The question is, can sophomore quarterback 3J Gray shake off that 4-interception performance from the Havelock game and settle in early? Northside needs to get Gavin Davis the ball early and often. When he's rolling, that offense clicks. The bye week also helped junior Rely Anderson get healthy after getting banged up versus Havelock. Defensively, the Monarchs' biggest challenge is stopping the run, and junior Justin Pope from Person just ran for 194 yards and 3 touchdowns on 15 carries last week. Look for junior Matthew Smoot, who already has 6 interceptions on the season, to be a game changer in the secondary. If Northside can stop the run and force turnovers, they've got a real shot to advance. White Oak Vikings, fresh off of their first round win, they are hitting the road again, this time traveling to Nash County to face Northern Nash. Northern Nash is no joke, 9-1 on the season, and their only loss coming to juggernaut Cleveland High School. They've also already beaten 2 Big Carolina 6A 7A teams. The Knights are led by junior running back Miles Eatman, who racks up over 1,500 rushing yards and 22 touchdowns this season. They're averaging 350 total yards per game and are ranked 6th in the 6A across the state. So yeah, the Vikings are walking into a tough one. It's going to be a long night for those linebackers, no doubt. But listen, nobody's giving White Oak a chance, and that's exactly when things get interesting. If they can force a turnover or 2 and make a play on special teams, this game can really get spicy real quick. Don't count on a team that's been playing fearless football the last few weeks. Dixon Bulldogs hit the road to McLeansville, North Carolina to face Northeast Guilford. Northeast Guilford is ranked 10th in the state in 5A, and they got athletes all over the field. But word on the street, and this comes straight from my cousin, Cam Hatchell, former Rams quarterback, Northeast by 30. But I told him, I said Northeast Guilford is tough, but they've never seen anything like JJ Goulet. And after what JJ did last week, 36 carries, 429 yards, and 7 touchdowns. Now here's the thing, Northeast Guilford gave up 270 yards rushing in their loss to Dudley earlier this year, so they're vulnerable to the run. Everybody in the stadium knows JJ is getting the ball, but can they stop him? That's the question. If Dixon can get a couple of key stops on defense and keep the game close, they got a real shot at pulling off another upset.
So, here we go, Hive family. Round 2 is here. The stakes are higher, the lights are brighter, and the county's ready to ride. Let's see who keep the buzz alive this week. Okay, one time I saw a Nick Saban quote that said, "You don't rise to the occasion, you fall to your training." And that made me think, when the lights come on and the crowd roars, that moment doesn't change who you are, it reveals who you've been. If you loaf on Tuesday, you'll lose on Friday. If you take shortcuts in the shadows, the spotlights will find them. But if you lock in all week and you do everything when no one's cheering, if you stay disciplined when it's uncomfortable, then when the pressure hits, you won't flinch. You'll lead. Because greatness isn't built in the moment. It's built in the preparation no one sees. So when the moment comes, fall to your training and let your training be the reason you rise. This is The Hive, the Onslow County Sports Buzz. I'm your host, Bobby B, reminding you, stay locked in, stay humble, and keep the county buzzing.